Hi guys! Welcome back to StarrSoap's channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. Today I am remaking a really special soap that I designed for a good friend of mine. Hi Sarah! And it has manuka honey, and it has goat's milk and neem powder, tea tree essential oil, activated charcoal, and colloidal oatmeal. It has all sorts of skin loving goodness, so we call it skin food. That's right, this is the skin food soap that I'm going to be making today. I designed this especially for people who have sore skin and it needs a bit of extra nourishment. That's why I call it skin food. Now, I'm Crystal Starr, in case you didn't know me, and I'm the Queen Soaper here at StarrSoaps. And today, I'd like to show you how to make a soap with a whole bunch of really good skin-loving additives in it. So come along with me, and I'll show you how to do it. Squee! Alrighty, so first things first, to make this beautiful soap, we need to make sure that the goat's milk and the cocoa butter, shea butter and all the glorious base oils and the manuka honey are all really well mixed together and at slightly above room temperature, which for me is about 30 degrees Celsius. And we're going to bring our lye in and add that, which is also at about 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. So everything's soaping at about the same temperature. And we will then mix it to a light trace, and then it will be time to add all the other extra goodies to this wonderful skin food soap. Now I'm straining out my lye, as I always do, to catch any of those pieces of undissolved silk. So there's also silk in the soap as well, which adds extra smooth and slickness. You'll see as I bring it to a light trace that we have a slight discoloration that takes place. That's due to the sugars and the honey that's in the soap. They tend to caramelize a little bit when the lye enters the mix, but that's why I soap everything at a very low temperature, because I don't want to burn any of those beautiful skin loving ingredients. So we're at a super light trace here, talking like liquidy, watery trace, and I'm going to start adding my essential oils. I'm using tea tree and eucalyptus essential oils in this soap. Both really, really good for your skin, but they also have properties that can help with acne and can keep bugs away as well, and all sorts of really good stuff like that. And so does the neem that we're adding in this batch. So I have some neem powder here that I've mixed into some olive oil, and it makes a really beautiful green. But I've done this soap before, and when I've made it in the past, the green has faded out on me in the final cure. So even though this looks like a beautiful natural colorant right now, by the time that the soap finishes its cure, this green is almost faded out to a completely light tan brown color, which is kind of a shame because I like it to, you know, stand out, and you can literally see with your eyes that there is neem in the soap. So what I've decided to do for this batch is I've taken a little bit of my green oxide and mixed that into a little bit of water. It doesn't mix into oil, it mixes into water. So I'm going to add a little bit of the soap into this little cup and mix it up with my metal chopstick until it's well blended and that colour is incorporated into that little bit of soap. And then I'm going to dump that into the neem jug to really try to punch up the green colour and try to help it stay green in the final soap. Now what ends up happening is I end up with still a little bit of colorant in my little cup there, and being ever so frugal as I am, not wanting to waste anything, I decided to add a little bit more of my plain soap base into that jug and mixed it up and created a little mint green portion of soap, and then put that into the final design as well, just for fun. So that's kind of cool. So you see me doing that now. I'm portioning off some to add some activated charcoal too, And I'm not going to be adding enough activated charcoal to make a super black portion. It's going to be more like a grey, a dark grey, so that with any luck the final soap will lather white and not lather grey. Now we've talked about this before in some of my other videos, but if you're ever using activated charcoal as a colorant in your soap, or in this case as actually a skin loving ingredient, you need to remember that when you use enough of it to make your soap jet black, you will have a grey lather. And that's okay, but you just need to bear that in mind. So with this soap, I'm adding enough activated charcoal to do its detoxifying goodness, but not enough to create a grey lather in the final soap. So there goes the activated charcoal that was mixed into water into that jug, and some titanium dioxide also dispersed in water that went into the main jug. I've got my beautiful jug of green neem, loving it. Everything smells great and it's all at a lovely thin fluid trace for me to get beautiful wispy swirls in my final soap. I don't quite like how that grey jug is. It's too light, so I'm adding a bit more of my activated charcoal to try to bring it to the shade that I'm looking for. That looks a bit more like it. But as you can see, it's definitely not black. It's definitely more of a grey colour. So now that I feel happy with all of my soaps, it's time to get everything prepared to pour them into the soap molds and have our fun design. the soap poured in and the hanger swirl complete, I come back with the 3 colours and pour them in roughly lines across the top of my mould. And you know what's happening now, don't you, StarrSoapies? That's right, we're going to do a pretty swirly top. So even though this soap is really more about what it can do for you than what it looks like, I still can't help myself and my artist comes out and I really want to play and create a beautiful looking soap that's also really good for you. Good to look at and good for your skin. So I love the way that the 3 colour swirl straight up and down, the mantra swirl. I love the way that it looks. It's really quite simple but very elegant. And I think it's simple, but a lot of people would say that's not simple. That looks really, really difficult. So for the soap, I'm going to leave one with a mantra swirl like this. And I'm going to do a bit of a nonpareil sort of a look in the other one. And I'd love for you guys to leave me your feedback below, telling me which one you like best. And I'll try to remember to keep the future design like that. In fact, I'll get my soap notebook out and I'll make a note. I tend to do mantra swirls whenever I can because I love how they look. But as I come back through and do the nonpareil, which I'm about to do on one of the loaves now, you'll see how wonderful it looks. And you can go in one direction and leave it like that. Or you can also come back, like I'm going to, and do it in the opposite direction. And you get a really, really intricate swirly top. So do leave me a comment below and let me know which one you guys preferred. After it has set, we're ready to unmold it and cut it. And I showed you a little bit of the footage there of how I test if mine are ready to be cut. If I can loosen that silicone mold from the sides and the ends and it's not sticking anymore, then we're about ready to get it out and cut it. I don't gel my soaps, but recently I've been thinking about doing it more and more. Wow, that's really pretty for a tiny little end slice. The reason I talk about gelling my soaps is that I've recently read some people talking about how if you gel your soaps, they don't form ash on them as much. And I don't know this from personal experience because I never gel any of my soaps. But I'm thinking that I want to try it because these recent batches of soap that I made have got really ashy, and I had to run them all over the beveler and plane the ash off when it came time to wrap them, and it seems a real shame. Wow, look at that. I love how that looks. You can see all the different shades I had in there, even that really light mint green colour. Unfortunately, as this cured, that neem portion seemed to bleed out, and that colour the swirl didn't look as crisp when it finally came time to package the soap. But that's okay. I really do love the neem. It has wonderful skin loving properties, and this bar was formulated for a good friend of mine who was having trouble with skin problems, and now she finds she uses this soap for everything. She washes her hair with it and shaves her legs with it and everything. So that makes me feel really, really happy. It's definitely helping people, and that's one thing I really do love to do if I can help people. I just love how this soap came out. I am super proud. It is not only really good for you, but it's beautiful. Talk about natural meets beautiful. Thank you so much for watching me make these soaps. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed doing it. I love making soap, so if you want to get your hands on some soap, please hit me up. I love custom orders. Send me an email, starrsoaps@gmail.com. I can sell you something from my current inventory, or I could even create you something special just for you. Send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching, and if you're not already, remember to hit that subscribe button. Become a member of our StarrSoaps family and feel the soapy love. See you guys next time. Bye!